Very good morning to everyone. So in structure of atom, we are discussing about Bohr's atomic model. Last class we started Bohr's atomic model. In the Bohr's atomic model, we have discussed some postulates of Bohr atomic model, what postulates given by the mode. And now in this class we will discuss some applications, some results from the Bohr's atomic model. There is a calculation of radius, calculation of energy, calculation of velocity, some extra. So those points we can cover. First we will see here calculation of radius. Radius Rn. The calculation of radius nothing but the distance between the nucleus to the electron present in a particular orbit. If n equal to 1, first orbit radius, if n equal to 2, you take a second orbit radius, so on. Let us take here, electron is revolving around the nucleus in a fixed orbit. Here we have the electron. Then if you want to calculate the distance between the electron and nucleus, and this we can call radius. If it is present in the first orbit, we can say this is R1, and if electron may be present another orbit also, and in this case this is R, and now this is a radius, this is called R2. Similarly R3, R4 and so on, Rn. In general, what is the radius? Means the distance between the nucleus and electron. According to the Bohr postulates, we know that if electron revolve around the nucleus and with velocity, some velocity v and mass m, and we know that angular momentum, that is mvr, is equals to nh by 2 pi. Right, this is one point. Next, the force, there is a Coulombic force of attraction between the nucleus and electron, that is called centripetal force, and also electron when revolves in a circular orbit, the force acting away from the nucleus, there is a centrifugal force. The Coulombic force of attraction can be balanced by the centrifugal force, means centripetal force can be balanced by the centrifugal force when electron revolve in a particular orbit. Now we can take here centripetal force, that nothing but Coulombic force of attraction. Here centripetal force and a Coulombic force of attraction is same. Centripetal force or force of attraction. Nothing but Coulombic force of attraction. Force of attraction between what? Between nucleus and electron, and that is the value we know that K into Q1 Q2 by R square, where Q1 and Q2 are the charges, and let us assume in case of a particular atom, let us assume Q1 is a charge of the nucleus and Q2 is the charge of electron. Then the charge of proton, means the charge of nucleus indicates that the number of protons present in the nucleus, that is the charge of nucleus. In case of hydrogen atom, we can take one proton, but in case of helium, lithium, sodium, some example, some depends on the number of atomic number of protons present in an atom or in a nucleus is equals to atomic number. So that we can write the charge here Q1. What we can write? Q1 means the total positive charge. It may be equal to the atomic number Z into charge. And what is the Q2? That is the charge of electron. So anyhow, either proton or neutron, the charge is E. That the value is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. And by r means radius only, let us take this is r square. So now centripetal force or force of attraction will become like k into ze square by r square. Similarly, centrifugal force, there is a force acting away from the nucleus, and this is equal to mv square by r. This is a centrifugal force. Now we know that when electron revolves in a particular orbit, centrifugal force is equal to centripetal force. The force of attraction can be balanced. We can write centripetal force is equals to centrifugal force. What is the centripetal force? That is k ze square by r square is equals to, what is the centrifugal force? mv square by r. Both are equal. Then only electron can be stable, otherwise it can move here and there. From this, k into ze square by r square is equals to m by r into, from this angular momentum, we know that mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. From this, v is equals to nh by 2 pi mr, and this v value now you substitute here. So in place of v, if you substitute that nh by 2 pi mr, you will get nh, and means n square h square by 4 pi square m square r square. Just substitute those values here. Here r square will cancel out. We required r value, right? We required the radius. So you bring this radius left side, then radius r is equals to, this is m, and m square cancel out. Any other parameters, that's it. Then what left? We left with n square h square by 4 pi square m k z square, and this is the radius of the particular orbit. Let us take here Rn. If first orbit, in place of n we can write 1. Here we have the n value. If you take n equal to 1, first orbit, n equal to 2, second orbit, n equal to 3, and so on. So from this we can calculate the radius of a particular orbit. Here n anyhow we know, though we don't know what is the orbit, but h we know the Planck constant, 4 anyhow constant, pi again the constant value 22 by 7, m means mass of electron, k we know that if it is mk's unit, 9 into 10 power 9, in CGS unit it is 1, z means a particular atom, it depends on the atomic number. If you take hydrogen it is 1, if you take helium 2, if you take some calcium 20, if you take some iron it is 26, like that, so on. E means charge of electron. Now you substitute the known values. Substitute h value, pi value, m value, k value, and e in the above equation, in radius equation. Then that will give the simplification. Finally you will get radius is equals to 0.529 into, here n we don't know, n square by z in angstroms, you will get it. So after simplification, by substituting all the known values, in a given radius equation, we will get the radius value 0.529 into n square by z angstroms, and this is the radius of an orbit. And here for hydrogen atom, the radius value is or n is equals to 0.529 into z equal to 1 for hydrogen atom case, atomic number 1. So 0.529 n square angstroms. Means what? If you take first orbit, means R1 is equals to 0.529 angstroms. R2 is equals to 2 square. 4 into 0.529 angstroms, and if it is R3, 9 into 9 times of radius of first Bohr orbit, and so on. Like this we can calculate the radius of a particular orbit. This is for hydrogen atom. If any other atom, you have to substitute its atomic number. Generally here as a shell increases. So here the orbit number increases, you can see the radius value increases. But if the atomic number increases, the radius value decreases. From this we can write one general relation. Radius is or n, this is a radius, n square by z. Means what? As a orbit number increases, radius increases. As the atomic number increases, radius decreases. For a same shell, for hydrogen and some other atom, if you compare, hydrogen is having more radius than the other some X element, whatever it is. Anyhow, hydrogen is the first element. The remaining elements case in the same shell, the orbit is the radius of orbit is higher for hydrogen atom. And from this, if you draw a graph with respect to radius versus, let me take a radius on the y-axis. Sometimes very rarely they may ask you, and z. Let us assume here n is constant. For a particular shell or particular orbit, you want to calculate and you want to identify the R versus Z. What type of graph we will get is R inversely proportional to Z, so it will decrease. So it is not a linear decrement, so R is inversely proportional to 1 by Z. They ask like this. Instead of Z, if you take 1 by Z, then you will get the value. A graph will be like this. So if it is a for example, with respect to the shell, radius versus n value, you get the graph like this, where Z is constant in this case. This is for a particular atom, for constant atom, and these are the graphs. And R versus n square, if we take, you will get the graph again, this type, linear, which passes through the origin. So these are the some various graphs. You should remember these two graphs. The two graphs, the bottom two graphs are when for same atom, and this is same shell. First two graphs are for same shell, different atoms. Now calculation of velocity. Means velocity of electron which revolving in a particular orbit. Vn here. N means orbit number, in which orbit it is revolved. Velocity calculations. Again, we know that angular momentum mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi, and the radius value just now we calculated, that is n square h square by 4 pi square mkz e square. This is the radius value. Now you substitute this r value here, then we will get mv into n square h square by 4 pi square mkz e square is equals to nh by 2 pi. This nh is square cancel out, and pi this square cancel, and here mass and here mass cancel, and this 2 and this is it. And overall what left? Velocity v is equals to 2 pi, out of pi square 1 pi is cancelled out, 2 pi, let me write directly here, k z e square by this nh, and this is the velocity of an electron. Let me take here Vn. Again, same, if you substitute the known values here, pi value, k value, z is atomic number, E is the charge of electron, H Planck constant. Again, substitute what pi, k, E and H values. Then we'll get velocity. V is equals to 2.18 into 10 power 8. What left? Z left by n. Z by n centimeter per second. So after substituting, you will get these values. This is in terms of numerical and this is in terms of the formula base. Two equations you should read. Velocity of electron in terms of the 2 pi, and here in terms of numerical value 2.18 into 10 power 8 z by n. Again, from this, velocity of electron in an orbit for a given atom is directly proportional to atomic number and inversely proportional to the orbit number. Quite opposite. In previous case, radius, as the atomic number increases, radius decreases, but here atomic number increases, velocity increases. There orbit number increases, radius increases, here orbit number increases, velocity decreases. Means electron which is present very near to the nucleus is having more velocity than the electron which is present away from the nucleus. Nucleus ki daggaraga unnadi ekkuva speed tho revolve avutundi, and nucleus ki duranga unnadi takkuva speed toti revolve avutundi. From this we can write a graph here, just as like the previous. Let me take velocity versus atomic number, where n is constant. Then you will get the graph like this. Take velocity versus orbit number. Then again, as usual, the graph will get like this, where z is constant in this case. Or if take velocity versus 1 by n, then you will get the graph which passes through the origin. This type of the graphs you can expect here. Then energy calculation. Energy calculation is also very important. Energy of an electron here in a particular shell. So first of all, here let me take electron revolving around the nucleus in a one fixed shell with a distance r. Then this electron has both potential energy and kinetic energy, and if we want to calculate the energy, we have to take both the sum of the potential energy and kinetic energy. So first we will go with the calculation of potential energy. Potential energy of electron. Simply P. What is the formula? We know that K Q1 Q2 by R. This is the formula. But in case of potential energy, if there is attractive forces, we will take the sign negative. If it is a repulsive forces, we will take positive sign. Here there is an attractive force between the electron and the nucleus. Nucleus means positive charge. So there is attractive force. Then we can take the sign negative. And K is anyhow K. Again here Q1, Q2 are, one is the charge of nucleus and one is the charge of electron. Charge of electron anyhow one electron E, but the charge of nucleus means again it may be ZE and charge of electron E by the distance, that is the radius R.
Sir, why minus, sir?
Minus means it is attractive force system. Attractive force means less energy. This negative sign indicates decreasing in energy. Repulsive forces means increasing in energy. Positive sign. So we will get potential energy is equal to minus K Z square by R. Similarly, kinetic energy. Kinetic energy of electron. We know that this is of mv square. K equal to of mv square. But this we have to convert in terms of this potential energies K, Z, E in this terms. So kinetic energy K equal to of mv square. We know that from radius calculations we did this one. That is the centrifugal force is equal to centripetal force. That is mv square by R. Is centrifugal force is equals to centripetal force, that is K into Z E square by R square. This value below. So now here mv square value or square cancel out, then mv square value substitute here. Okay, then we will get kinetic energy is equals to of into what is the mv square now? That is K Z E square by R. And this is the kinetic energy. So we have now both potential and kinetic energy. Potential energy is minus K Z E square by R and the kinetic energy is of K Z E square by R. If you want to calculate the energy, that nothing but total energy. Sir? Total energy. Here total energy nothing but energy of electron, both are the same only. Total energy is equals to kinetic energy plus potential energy. What is the kinetic energy? Of K Z E square by R. And what is the potential energy? Minus K Z E square by R. From this we will get energy or total energy is equals to minus 1 by 2 K Z E square by R. And this is the total energy value. So now we can see one relation in here, that is kinetic energy versus potential energy versus total energy. if you see the ratio of kinetic potential and total energy values, we will get this is kinetic energy is, see, kinetic energy is 1 by 2 kz square, this value, let me write here always, 1 by 2 kz e square by r. What is the potential energy? That is minus kz e square by r. And what is the total energy? Minus 1 by 2 k z e square by r. From this k z e square by r common everywhere, they will cancel out. What left? 1 by 2 ratio minus 1 ratio minus 1 by 2 means overall the ratio between kinetic energy, potential energy and total energy is equals to 1 ratio minus 2 ratio minus 1. Again, this relation is very, very important among kinetic, potential and total energies, the relation between Ke, Pe and τ. Here sometimes they will ask the basic questions. For example, kinetic energy of an electron in an orbit is some x value. Then what is the potential energy? So what relation you can identify here? Kinetic energy by potential energy is equals to 1 by minus 2 or minus 1 by 2. So potential energy is twice of the kinetic energy. But the sign is also very, very important here. In case of potential energy and total energy, we have the negative sign. But whereas in case of kinetic energy, we have the positive sign. If Ke equal to x, then ultimately Pe is equals to minus 2x. So like this, here they may give some numerical value. For example, kinetic energy of an electron is some 10 joules or 10 calories, some electron volts. Then what is the potential energy? It may be minus 20. Like that calculations can become. Here we see the further calculations. We got total energy. Just let me take it is energy. Total energy is equals to minus 1 by 2 kz e square by r. This value we got finally, and here minus 1 by 2 kz e square. What is r? R is the radius. Now you substitute the radius value. What is the radius? That is n square h square by 4 pi square mkz e square. Then you will get energy value. Finally, En is equals to, let me write minus 2 k square z square e power 4 m pi square by n square h square. This is the final equation for total energy. The previous values in terms of radius values, here there is no radius value, we substituted the radius value also. Sometimes they may ask you potential energy value in terms of this n value. You can take, for example, kinetic energy is equals to.
Sir.
And similarly, if they ask kinetic energy in terms of this, same you will get instead of minus, but you will get plus 2 k square z square e power 4 m pi square by n square h square. And if they ask potential energy, then you get minus 4 k square z square e power 4 m pi square by n square h square. These are the values with respect to K and pi. This is mostly advanced level they may ask you. Just you expand it. Ichina kinetic energy, potential energy, further expand it. There you substitute the R value, you will get it directly. But we required here this total energy value. is minus 2k square z square e power 4 m pi square by n square h square. Again you substitute the known value k and e m pi h value. Substitute is that k value, e value, m value, pi value and h value. Okay. Then you will get energy E is equals to minus 13.6 z square by n square. Your unit is in terms of electron volt per atom. And this is very, very important. In terms of unit also you should remember. So the final numerical value minus 13.6 into z square by n square. This is the energy of an electron per one atom. And here further you can write these values En. So this is a value in terms of electron volts per atom. Now you convert this electron volts into joules. We know that 1 electron volt equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules, and that value you substitute here, you will get energy in terms of joule. That is 2.18 into 10 power minus 18 z square by n square. This is joule per atom. This is in terms of joules. And if joule you convert into the kilojoules per mole. This is per atom per mole. Per mole means you have to multiply with Avogadro number 6 into 10 power 23. Then you will get energy value further. This you simplify with the multiply with Avogadro number 6 into 10 power 20. You will get the value minus 1312 into z square by n square kilojoule per mole. These are the various values. Better to remember the first value. From this you can expand. If they ask in terms of joules, you write in place of electron volt 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Just you multiply with this. And if they ask joules in terms of kilojoule per mole, you can take like this. Or else we know that 1 electron volt is equals to 96 kilojoule per mole, right? This way. Or else you directly multiply this value in place of electron volt per atom 96 kilojoule per mole. Again you will get this approximate 1312. Well, options each questions, but you can convert value. But first one is a very important. And from that, overall we can take the energy value depends on what? Again it is directly proportional to z square by n square, but negative value. Z square by n square means minus z square by n square. What it means? As atomic number increases, energy value decreases here. Anyhow, z increases, negative value, more negative means less energy. As n value increases, energy value increases. That is why if n value increases, energy value increases means the electron which is present nearer to the nucleus is having lesser energy, and electron far away to the nucleus is having more energy. That point we have discussed already in the postulates of Bohr's mode. Electron nearer to the nucleus, less energy, electron away to the nucleus, more energy. That is why when electron jump from lower energy to the higher energy, energy absorption takes place. When energy jumps from higher energy to the lower energy, energy emission takes place. Now you can draw a graph from this with respect to z and with respect to n. If you take, let's take energy versus z square. Let me take z square directly. What kind of graph we'll get here? See here, minus, this is like y equal to minus mx. y equal to minus mx graph, I will get negative slope which passes through the origin. So the graph should be like this. And this kind of the graph we will get here. Either z square, or if we take in place of z 1 by n square. Z square తీసుకున్నా 1 by n square తీసుకున్నా మనకు this type of graph will be. And this point just should remove. Now we'll calculate energy for hydrogen atoms. Let us take for hydrogen atom. What is the energy? En is equals to minus 13.6. Z is anyhow 1 by n square. Electron volt per atom. So here hydrogen atom, n is the number of orbits. Let us take first orbit. So E1 is equals to minus 13.6 electron volts. And if we take second orbit E2, then minus 13.6 by 2 square means 4, minus 13.6 by 4. You will get the value 3.4. And if we take E3, you will get minus 1.51 electron volt. And E4 value minus 0.85. E4 means 1 by 16 in 13.6 by 16, and E5 minus 0.54 electron volts, and so on. At E infinity, if we take E infinity means 1 by infinity square, something by infinity is 0. So no energy. Now one more point we have discussed in the Bohr's postulates, that is the energy difference between the two successive orbits is decreases as the orbit number increases, right? Now from this you see the energy difference between E1 and E2. How much it is? Approximately 10 electron volts. And now again you see the energy difference between these two. It is approximately 2 electron volts. And this is approximately almost 0.7. And this is approximately 0.3. Like this. See, as orbit number increases, the difference between the successive energy levels, those successive energy levels decreasing. Here 10, here 2, here 0.7, here 0.3. So this is one of the conclusion. And E infinity equal to 0 means what? This is ionization energy for hydrogen atom. Ionization energy is 0. This is a last shell, not ionization energy, last shell energy. Ionization energy means this is a value. Ionization energy of hydrogen atom. If you take hydrogen atom, ionization energy means the energy required to remove the electron. In case of hydrogen, electron present in the first shell, we have to remove this electron. We have to bring out from the system to the infinity. At the first shell nunchi we have to remove from the we have various shells of that so many excited states untai, but we have to completely remove the electron from the hydrogen atom. Completely infinity state loki తీసుకెళ్ళాలి. Then what is the energy difference between the infinity and the first electron? In case of infinity energy shell, the energy is 0, and initial, the first shell energy is 13.6. So energy difference between the two shells is 13.6 electron volts. And this is the ionization energy for hydrogen atom when electron present in first shell. It is also means if we supply 13.6 electron volts, you can remove the electron from hydrogen atom. Then మనం ionization energy అంటాం. And if you want to calculate the energy difference between the two successive shells, energy difference. Delta E is equals to E2 minus E1. We don't know. E2 means this is a final shell and E1 means initial shell, or E final minus E initial. E2. E2 means you can write minus 13.6 for same atom, Z square by N2 square minus E1. E1 means again minus 13, minus minus plus 13.6 into Z square by N1 square. From this delta E, energy difference between the two shells, it may be successive or it may be anything, is equals to 13.6 into Z square. If we common out, what left? We left with 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square. And this is a formula to calculate the energy difference between the two shells. If N1 equal to 1 and N2 equal to 5, for example, then you can substitute here N1 1 and N2 5, you will get the energy difference between the two shells. Like this we can calculate. This is also a very important part. Here, just now we have calculated the ionization energy. Ionization energy means N2 is infinity there and N1 is 1. So 1 by N minus 0, 1. For hydrogen atom Z equal to 1. So you will get 13.6 electron volts. If they ask for helium, case, in place of Z you have to write 2. If they ask for lithium, you have to take 3. So on. For Z atomic number, you can substitute. For hydrogen atom, this is 1. Directly you will get 13.6 electron volts. Is the ionization energy for hydrogen atom. So 2 more formulas here. That is time period. Mostly advanced level or time period of electron. What is the time period? It is a time taken by electron for complete revolution. For one revolution, how much time it will take? Time taken by electron for one complete revolution. Time period we can represent with the Tn. For complete revolution means we can take that is here. One electron is there here, it revolving around the nucleus. One complete revolution. Let us assume. Means here time is equals to distance by velocity, nothing but. Here distance means what? For electron is the circle, the circumference. The distance we can calculate by taking the circumference and velocity. So here time period we can take circumference by velocity. What is the circumference? 2 pi, or velocity is v. And we know that now you substitute the radius value and velocity value here. Tn is equals to 2 pi into what is the r? N square h square by again 4 pi square m k z e square and by v. Velocity means what? That is I'll write directly here. 2 pi k z e square by nh. So we can write this as nh by 2 pi k z e square. Now you simplify this one, you will get time period overall n cube h cube by 4 pi square m k square z square e power 4, and this is the time period. No need to remember this value, not required. Here direct again you substitute the known value h value, pi value, m, k, z, e, so on. You will get time period. Finally, you should remember this formula: 1.5 into 10 power minus 16 n cube by z square. This is in terms of seconds. Time period, the unit is second. Here you will get this orbit number and atomic number n cube by z square. This is important. Just you concentrate on this. From this you can write time period is directly proportional to n cube by z square. So this is for numerical purpose. This formula for numerical calculations. 1.5 into 10 power minus 16 n cube by z square second. Next, one more last formula here. The frequency of revolutions per second sometimes. Last one, frequency of revolution. Simply we can say this is revolutions per second. You can represent RPS, frequency of revolution or revolutions per second. Frequency, we know that it is reciprocal to the time period, and frequency of revolution Fn is equals to time period Tn. N means again the orbit. Just you can write the direct value here, reverse to that time period. What value we have? N cube, h cube, that value you can take completely reverse here. And what you will get? 4 pi square m k square z square e power 4 by n cube h cube. This is the formula, again not required here. And the frequency of revolutions or revolutions per second, RPS, is equals to the numerical value. What we have? 1.5 into 10 power minus 16, that you take is your reverse. You will get 6.66 into, means 1 by 1.15, 6.66 into 10 power 15, that is n cube by z square, but here you will get z square by n. And there is a second, and this is, we know that frequency unit is second inverse. Revolutions per second anna frequency of revolution anna same. ఒక్కోసారి క్వశ్చన్ లో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద రెవల్యూషన్స్ పర్ సెకండ్ అని ఇస్తూ ఉంటాడు, ఆర్ వాట్ ఇస్ ద ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీ ఆఫ్ రెవల్యూషన్స్ అని ఇస్తూ ఉంటాడు. సో యూ కెన్ యూజ్ దిస్ ఫార్ములా. Again here, frequency of revolution is directly proportional to z square by n cube. Very good to know. So these are some various relations from Bohr's atomic model. Their results or applications we can say. Mainly mains level అయితే velocity, radius, energy calculations important. Advanced levels time period, frequency of revolutions కొంచెం further extended questions వస్తుంది. We'll see one basic question here. Calculate the radius of Bohr's third orbit. In lithium 2+ ion. So radius of the Bohr's third orbit means n equal to 3 and lithium 2+ ion means where z equal to 3. So in case of radius, R3 value we have to calculate 0.529 into n square by z means 3 square by lithium atomic number 3. This is in terms of angstroms and about 3 times of this one. So this we can take approximately 0.53 also. You will get
1.58
angstroms. Options like angstrom is the angstrom, centimeter is the you can convert that into centimeter, nanometer is the nanometer. One question with respect to energy or with respect to velocity. Calculate velocity of an electron placed in third orbit of the hydrogen atom. Third orbit of hydrogen atom. Again velocity v is equals to 2.18 into 10 power 8 z by n. This is in terms of centimeter per second. Again, unit choose call. If they give in the options meter per second, you convert accordingly. We'll take up here centimeter per second. 2.18 to 10 power 8 z atomic number 1 and third orbit. So you may get this 7.2 into 10 power 7 centimeter per second approximately. And one more question with respect to energy here. Calculate the energy of electron in third orbit of lithium 2+ and calculate the energy in joule per mole. So this is very important. The units they are asking here, joule per mole. So you can follow accordingly. With respect to joule per mole, what is the value we have? Energy E is equals to minus 1312 into 10 power 3 z square by n square joule per mole. This with respect to joule per mole. Then here a lithium atom again in the third orbit. So minus 1312 into 10 power 3 into atomic number lithium 3 and orbit number 3. 3 cancel out. Anyhow both are the squares only. 3 square by 3 square. So you left with minus 1312 into 10 power 3 joule per mole. And if they ask in kilojoules, you can take minus 1312 kilojoule per mole.